Don't you hear me? Don't you hear me? What's up, everybody? What's up, everybody? Everybody, what's up? Well, welcome to a beautiful, absolutely gorgeous Thursday, the most beautiful day of the year so far in my location. Um, but rather serious show. It's a rather serious show. We're getting deep into Amber Holder, and hopefully we don't make it past the 3 hour mark. I don't want to do four. It's going to be late if we do that. So just pray with me that we can move a little swiftly and get on through the inestimable value of Amber Holder. And I hope that yesterday you really gleaned from Todd Click the enormity of the situation. So, yeah. Before we get into it, though, let's say hi to everyone who's here. I'm so happy to see you guys. Let's see. And I'm trying to get fueled up here. So, sweet dude Shibby, welcome in, sweet dude. Ronnie Reed, welcome in, Ronnie. Bonnie, welcome in, Bonnie. Diamond Eyes, welcome in. Carol, welcome in, Carol. All right. Cindy Goddard, thank you for joining the other channel, the backup channel. Hey, guys, please join both channels. Spread the love. We have a live just finished up over there, and it was wonderful to see everybody hanging out over there. Hello, Prof, and chat. I'm working but listening. All right. Hello, Freckle Joy, my sweetie. What up? How's California? How's California? Sunshine and shit? Tracy Fleetwood says, hi, everybody. I listened to part one while driving for work today and looking forward to tonight's program. Well, it is part two, so welcome on in, and God bless you. We're happy to see you. And yeah, it's I'm telling you this. They make my job easy. Okay, my job is so easy because the enormity of or the enormous amount of information that's out here. But it's nevertheless a daunting task to start the show. Hello, Prof and Chat. What up, Lornell? And what up, Dawn Leonard? Welcome in, Dawn. Welcome in, Amy. Thanks for the flowers, Amy. Look at you. All right, you ladies coming in. Where's my guys at? Saying hello to each other. I've had shibby withdrawals, but sleep has taken precedence earlier this week. Well, I'm sure you'll get your fill of shibby. He was flailing around his hot dogs earlier. Ronnie Reed says, hi, Amy. What up, Rochelle D? What's up, Rochelle? Coming on in. Everything's cool. All right, guys. And I said welcome. And then, hey, look, it's K West. What up, K West? My man's back in the house. How was Malta? Oh, please, dude. Are you back from Malta? How was Malta? I'm making it through this chat. Welcome in, Freckle Joy, saying, has anyone ever done any research on Elvis Fields? Yeah, I've been looking at some things. I don't know about the other folks. Maybe they got some goods. We all got to be someone, right? What's a Kanye? Gen C, welcome in, Gen C. Look at you. Gen C coming in saying hello. Emmy Sue, first timer? Welcome in, Emmy Sue. Good evening, Prof and Chat. Okay. Guys, I have bad news for everyone. I was bored about 5 minutes ago. I should be okay now. I'm somewhere with facts and it's like, oof. Well, wherever you were, don't go back. I have I permanently kicked old douche intuition on out. We'll talk about that later. Douche crew is no longer. Curtis Hinkle, good evening to everyone. Welcome in, Curtis. What up, Curtis? All right, douche intuition crew. That's what I'm saying. Sweet dude Shibby, the douche is out. The douche is out. I have permanently kicked him out of my house. Sorry, but douche is gone. I sent him back to Arizona. Said I'm packing. All right. What up, Curtis? Though, Amy, what up? All right, you guys. Frenchie, what up? So audio's good. Thank you so much. Yeah, right. Good thing I would have been talking the past 5 minutes without knowing. I didn't even check. Thank you, Frenchie. All right, Laurenell Grantham. Welcome in, Laurenell. Come on in. Michelle, what up? What up, Michelle? I can hear you. Let's go. Criminally Focus. What up, Criminally Focus? Hey, P Diz. Well, hey, C Diz. What up, Criminally? How was your trip, too? You had a trip. You and K West and traveling motherfuckers, boy. I tell you. What up, Diamond Eyes? Didn't I just see you somewhere earlier? Let's go. Let's go, baby. Yeah, switch that tinfoil hat. Put on the proper hat, please. Take off the dunce shaped one and put on the top hat. All right, what's up, guys? You guys coming on in here? Hey, what up, Lamberco? What up? You coming on in? Hey, man, don't be late. You're almost late. Good thing I start late. All right, what's up, everybody? Whoa, Curtis, thank you for the super chat. That's early. That's early. Thank you for the super chat. You coming in with the super chat. Thank you so much. Now, that's encouraging. All right, yeah, we got a lot of reading to do, so I need some fuel. This caffeine and chocolate is hooking me up at the moment. But thanks so much, guys. You're a god. You're a blessing. You're a blessing. Bless all of you. God bless all of you. I was just swearing at the snow. Hey, baby, look, no snow here. I mean, it's the most gorgeous day of the year. I'm not joking about that. When I opened the doors, like maybe 10 a.m., I was just astounded. I was like, wow, it's warm. What the hell? The night off and Uber Eats from Wingstop on the way. It's going to be a rainy and windy night. Hell, and you're going to be killing at Wingstop. So enjoy your Wingstop and don't touch the phone when you're eating it. But, listen to the show. We're about to get some good business going. I mean, I'm telling you, this Amber Holder, it's a lot. It's a lot. You guys are going to enjoy it. Curtis, you the man. Yeah. Sweet Dude Chibi says, Ronnie Reed, bringing them cannons, I see. Ronnie Reed's a woman, but she got them cannons, I'm sure. Yeah, subscribe to that backup channel, you guys. Prof True Crime. Because you never know it. It's rough out here in these streets. You know how they treat us. You never know what may happen. So we need that backup channel going. Everyone needs to be there. Thank you, Cindy. New member, Cindy, on both channels. Wow, Cindy, that's very encouraging, and it's an honor, Cindy, that you've subscribed to both channels and became a member at both channels. That's encouraging. Thank you so much. It feels like a warm welcome. Feels like I'm coming to visit your house, and you open the door with a warm welcome, which everyone loves, right? Don't you love to visit someone, and they open the door and just warmly welcome you on in? And that's what it feels like, Cindy. So thank you so much. Welcome in, Deanna. Welcome in. I got your email, and yes, I had seen that. Someone sent it to me yesterday, but thank you so much, Deanna. I am curious about those individuals, Deanna. Yes, I am curious. Yeah, blessing, Cindy. And Diamond Eyes and Amy says, what up, Curtis? Awesome. Yay, Cindy, new member. Serious tinfoil hat engagement. Yes, the serious one. Yes, we're going to get into Amber Holder and some context around Amber Holder. I'll put it that way. And hey, it's all coming from the record, the court record. We're not doing any hearsay, any BS. Like I drew your attention to yesterday. We're surfing on this court record right now. It's serious shit. So court record. We're not really. You want to call us conspiracy theorists? Go ahead. But I mean, it's not like we're far out there. We're not seeing phantoms in the bushes. I mean, we're reading the court documents. Is Elvis related to the same family that owns Field's gun store in Rushville? Ooh, I don't know. But man, I bet someone will watching the show. You might want to repeat that a little later, Freckle Joy, when all the locals come on in. What up, Gia? Back in UK in 11 hours time, brother. Oh, right. Are you traveling? Are you traveling? R.I.P. douche intuition. Bless your cold heart. Yeah. Ooh, that's That's some heavy words. That's some strong word. That's some strong language, Freckle Joy. You sure that's a fight you want to be starting? Good to see you, Digital. And Digital says, good to see everyone. All right, Digital's up in here. We coming on in here. I really want to stay, but my dogs are getting restless with my neighbor. Bless him. He's done extremely well with them. That's the thing about these fur babies. When I went to Indiana, I had to bring mine with me because my old lady next door, she don't want to handle a 100+ pound beast. I didn't even ask her because I knew that she would probably say yes, but then she would be cursing me. She'd be silently cursing me every day. You know how old ladies would do. She'll say, "Oh yeah, baby, I'll watch him." And I just knew that I couldn't do it to her because she'd be cursing me out every damn day. Until I got back silently in her head and under her breath to her man. Yeah, guys, what up? Thanks for coming in, Bonnie Brown, Peter Taylor. Welcome in, Digital. All right, hi from Scotland. $10 holler. Yeah, Curtis. Curtis gave a $10 holler yesterday, I believe. It's like, come on, Curtis. Thank you so much. Snowed in North Carolina early this morning. Ooh. Cold and wet here, but no snow in central Indiana. Yeah, how was the weather? I mean, I saw that there were some immense storms in the past 48 hours. So hope that was okay for everyone. Strange enough, I just heard UK is due 6 inches of snow in the next 24. Can't wait to get back. Keep it. Keep it. It's snowy, icy, raining, windy here. The groundhog should be fired. Oof. I don't like that kind of weather there. You feeling better? Good, brother. What's up, Peace? Peace is in the house. Peace is always in my house. Look, that's one thing I demand. I don't do drama. Diamond Eyes. Did you just see the clip or you see the whole 15 minutes? I saw both. I saw the original long video and I saw the little clip. There's a humming on my mic. First of all, thanks for letting me know because I want to know that. But let me figure out what might be causing that. Let's see. Let me take a listen to it. Because I want to know that. But right, let me figure out what might be causing that. Let's see. Let me take a listen to it. I want to know that. Let's figure out what might be causing that. Just a moment. Let me. Just a moment. Let me. Just a moment. Let me. Just a moment. is that better? Tried to fix that, and hopefully I did. All right, is that better? So here we go. All right, that was quite of a chore there. All right, let's keep it going. Let's see. Tracy Fleetwood, thanks for the membership. Yo, Tracy, welcome. You've been so nice around here lately. Thank you so much, Tracy. Remember his tantrum at his call in? Michelle O basically shaming her for being a sexual assault victim. Oh, really? I've had a live link to his cameras for peace of mind. What were you talking about? All right, my power went out. Oh no, Diamond. You got bad weather? Tracy, thank you so much. Look at you, you gifted memberships. Tracy, come on. Thank you so much. That's kind of you. Thank you for gifting the memberships. Muted. Muted. It's worse. It's worse. Okay, this is better. Wow, this is okay. This is better. I got it. Well, I'm sorry for such a rough go at the sound today. There we go. So let's move on. Let's move on. Hopefully it's bearable, okay? All right, so we're gonna, yeah, it's a membership bundle. Thank God, Tracy. Thank you so much. Everyone's gonna enjoy that, and that's so nice to do. The storm is coming, gonna hit a lot of people around here by surprise. Oh yeah, you'll find out. All right. Thank you, Tracy. Did you see the unraveling video about Frank Meister? No. All right. Love it when a man gets caught in a lie in real time. Uh oh. I'm really upset about that noise, but there's nothing I can do at the moment. I got to keep moving. Earlier today, Diamond, I think I replied, comes and goes. Yeah, I was turning up and down volumes on the mixer. So, So, so let's give me a moment, and we'll get into our we'll get into business now. And I'm apologizing. I know we've got issues. I'm apologizing. Let's keep moving though. All right. It's not making any sense why I'm having this problem. There's no power anywhere. Not making any sense why I'm having this problem. There's no power. Not making any sense why I'm having this problem. Just a moment again. I don't understand why tonight. I don't understand why. Oh, tonight. You know, good idea. Hold on a minute. That's a great idea, K West. Hold on. How about now? Check, 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 check. Okay, so good, good. Okay, let's move on. Okay, so let's see. God, oh man. Here we go. So what we're doing, we're going to read this. So look, we're looking at this from the Franks. Okay, wrong deal, wrong deal. Here we go. All right, there we go. Okay, there we go. So what we're doing now, we're going to look at this direct examination of Amber Holder. Okay, so we're going to take it one step at a time here. All right, so that really threw me for a loop, and I apologize, but boy, it's I'm all messed up. So let's go. So we're going to begin tonight. Okay, we're going to begin with the direct examination of Amber Holder. And thank you for everyone for helping me get that together. There's something going on here, but we'll fix it out. I'll try to figure it out tomorrow before we do another show. But direct examination of Amber Holder from March 18. Oh, now people are going to start texting, right? Come on. Okay. So here we go. Questions for Mr. Baldwin. Okay, Mr. Baldwin's here. He's saying, state your name for the record, Amber Holder. Okay. How old are you, Amber? I'm 33. Okay. What do you do for a living? I'm a manager at Public Storage. I work 11 properties. You work 11 properties doing what? I clean the inside of the properties and the outside and help customers. Okay, how long you been doing that? Maybe a year and 3 months. I'll get right to this. Have you ever talked to the police about the murders in Delphi? Yes. Okay. How many times? Twice. Okay, let's talk about the first time you talked to the police. You remember what happened? Yes, at my grandmother's. Okay, how long was that, the whole interview? Maybe an hour. What did you talk about? And then here comes Miss Diener again. Objection, Judge. I would ask that he establish the date of this to determine the relevance of this motion. Yeah, when was it? When was it? I'm not sure. I'm not good with dates. Was it after the two girls, or was it after the girls were murdered? Yes. Were they investigating the murders? Yes. Okay. I renew my objection, says Miss Diener. It still needs to be within 2017 before the video was missing. Do you have the date that she was interviewed? No, I'm not asking. Yeah. Counsel, when was she interviewed? I think 2018. Okay, then again, that would be after. Would counsel approach, please? And then here's another damn sidebar. okay? Because this demon, Mrs. Diener, she is dead set on shutting down any facts coming out in this hearing here. Okay, all she wants to do is scuffle around the deleting of videos. She doesn't want any context or any additional facts to surface here. So the judge says, I'm sorry, I don't know how to make myself any clearer than that you've made specific allegations in your pleading that you are held to. Calling witnesses up here that have been interviewed well past that date is not well founded and it's improper. I respectfully disagree with you, Judge. I think we plead and then we prove our pleadings through other evidence. The state in its charging information didn't include every single piece of information. Judge says, that's not what we're here to talk about, Mr. Baldwin. We're here to talk about your motion and to dismiss for destroying exculpatory evidence where you claim that a document dated February 17th of 2017 of Mr. Holder and February 19th of Mr. Westfall was destroyed. That's the very narrow focus of what it is that we're here for. Yeah. And if you don't have witnesses that are going to testify to these things, you're wasting everybody's time. Mr. Baldwin says, as Mr. McClellan argued in his response, Judge, that we have to prove that the state of Indiana or the law enforcement knew back in 2017 that there was material or exculpatory evidence. Or helpful evidence, and also that there was bad faith. At the end of the road here, there is an argument to be made that back in 2017, based on everything that you have heard, that the police, and the police knew that there was exculpatory evidence on there, and where is that evidence? That's what I keep asking you. Where's the specific evidence? Because she wasn't interviewed until 2018. So how did the police know that in 2017 when you claim they destroyed it? Do you see the arguments that are being made here? The attorney is trying to prove the nature of the standard, okay? Prove the nature of the argument, of the exculpatory nature of the evidence that was destroyed. And what are the judge and Ms. Diener doing? They're trying to bulldog that logic aside with a very narrow expectation that you only discuss something that happened in this particular month or 2 or 5 of 2017. It's garbage. It's garbage. Okay. But Mr. Baldwin makes a really kind of a penetrating argument here. Okay. He makes a very good argument here. Police are not ever going to say, I destroyed exculpatory evidence. It's not going to happen. What is going to happen is other evidence comes out, like what's contained in the Franks memo, that shows that there's an ongoing hiding of evidence, not refusing to investigate, things like that. I'm sorry, but because of the verbiage and the poor way that, I got to say, this transcript is not very good. It's really not. I'm going to criticize the transcriptionist here. We've already encountered several typos and a couple bad phrasing choices in the transcription. Considering the high dollar of this transcript, it's infuriating. Okay. So let's back this up. Police are not ever going to say, I destroyed exculpatory evidence. It's not going to happen. What is going to happen is other evidence comes out, like what's contained in the Franks memo, that shows that there is an ongoing hiding of evidence, not, and then he says, well, refusing to investigate, things like that. And this is what we're trying to do. I can't, If you expect that there's going to be a police officer that they're going to call, or that I'm going to call, that's going to say, I erased exculpatory evidence, that is never going to happen anywhere in the world. Okay, so you get what he's doing. He's trying to show that what that narrow expectation they're trying to bulldog their way into, put him in a corner. He's just bringing the reasonability here. He said they're never going to say I erased exculpatory evidence. That's not going to happen anywhere in the world. Okay, Miss Diener, here she comes again with garbage. Okay, Judge, he has to show that it's exculpatory evidence based on what was known on that date or in that time frame before we have to show that it was not the result of bad faith. And if he shows it's exculpatory, bad faith doesn't even matter. If he can't show exculpatory and or in the potentially useful category, that we get to show that it was not as a result of bad faith. So his first burden is to show that it is materially exculpatory, the video that's missing. That's his burden. And that's what he's trying to do. That's what he's trying to do. But you see where her mind is, okay? You see where her mind is. She's extremely aggressive in trying to railroad this guy. Like, she doesn't want to learn that that interview was exculpatory, which is about to be proven. In my opinion, okay, Baldwin proved everything. He proved that these interviews were exculpatory in nature, etc. But we'll get to that. And like I said, hopefully we don't go very long today because there's a lot more than just what is here, okay? It's an impossible burden, Judge, because it's missing. That's unfortunate, but, says the judge, and Ms. Diener, then concede and shift to potentially useful. You see how bitchy she is? I mean, this Ms. Diener, she's a real fucking cunt. She really is. How are you going to tell this man what to do? Then concede and shift to potentially useful? Well, how about let the judge tell him what to do, okay? Let the judge tell him. It's not your courtroom, Diener. That's what the case law says, Mr. Baldwin. Well, I can't change the case law. Well, this is how we prove it is, by showing other evidences of police behavior, bad behavior. Not, and then you can surmise as a judge, well, if this all happened then, it could have happened back then. I'm sorry, that's not what the case law indicates. No, that is not what the case law says, sir. And if that's all you have, then we're done. Then I will offer to prove. No, then we're done if that's all you have. I'm going to offer to prove, Judge, and offer to prove, and then we will be done. We are done, sir. All right, Bulldog. Keep on. For the record, they have a right to offer to prove so that the Court of Appeals can understand. You know what we're doing, and we will have no record unless I offer to prove, Judge. Okay. You see that? You see that? You see that shit? Do you see it? You see what she tried to do? You see what they both tried to do? And he corrected her ass. He said, no, we're going to Court of Appeals. You know what's happening here. Let's read that part again. He says, so that the Court of Appeals can understand. You know what we're doing. You know what we're doing, and we will have no record unless I offer to prove. So then she concedes, well, you can sum up your offer to prove, Mr. Baldwin, but again, if all the evidence that you have is after the dates that you alleged, then your offer to prove is, if Amber, thank you, Judge. Okay. So let's go here let's get to the meat and potatoes here. If Amber Holder were allowed to testify, she would tell you that police, including Jerry Holman, and the other people that were deposed by the defense counsel in August of 2023 have never talked to Amber Holder since August of 2023. She would testify that Brad Holder talked about the Delphi case, that Brad Holder told her that he and Patrick Westfall had a falling out over a ritual in the woods near a river because Patrick Westfall wanted to up the ante from animal sacrifices. If Amber Holder were allowed to testify, she would tell you that Patrick Westphal, according to Brad Holder, committed these crimes. He is protected by powerful people. She would also testify that she saw on Brad Holder's phone girls that he knew that he posed on the ground with sticks, and that she knows are runes from her own heathenism belief system. That were runes on these girls in the form of sticks. Oh, where have we seen that before? And that he had them on his phone, and there were multiple photos on his phone. And finally, that she would also testify that Brad Holder knew Abby Williams much better than he told police. He told her that he met her several times. That is the end of my offer to proof in this witness. Thank you. Do you have any questions for her? I have no questions for this witness, says Ms. Diener. You may step down, ma'am. Mr. Baldwin, we have no other evidence, judge. The defense rests. Okay. I'm sorry, Judge. I apologize. I wanted to ask the court to take judicial notice of the Frank's memo as it relates to this request to dismiss charges that included Jerry Holman's deposition. I would also ask for the court to take judicial notice. Well, I was going to move to admit, I think the Frank's memo. Taking judicial notice of that will be sufficient for what I need to do and argue. Thank you. When did you file the Frank's motion? September 18, 2023. All right, I will take judicial notice of that specific Frank's motion filed September 18, 2023. And the exhibits contained in it, Judge, says Mr. Baldwin. And also, as also part of it. Oh, and that supplemental Frank's, the second Frank's motion as well, we'd ask for, and its exhibits as well, that was filed, I believe, October the 3rd, 2023. So you don't wish me to take judicial notice of the supplemental motion for the Frank's hearing that you filed October 2nd? I do. I thought it was October 3rd. It was October the 2nd? Okay, so here, what we're going to do now, okay, we are going to go back, okay, because remember how I keep reiterating to you that in an ongoing fashion, the defense has continued to renew the Frank's memorandum in an ongoing manner. Okay, it's been several times now that they have brought the Frank's memorandum to date. And with this, it was done again. So let's bring up the Frank's memo, and we're going to read some selected excerpts that are relevant and very important, okay? Very important. Because remember, we did not get to hear from Amber Holder here because of the insane bullshit that occurred in the courtroom, okay? So let's take a look now. We're going to start midway the page. Here, we're on page 16, midway. Unified Command's failure to vigorously pursue the obvious links between the crime scene and Odinism is even more inexplicable when evidence known to law enforcement included information about another Odinite named Patrick Westphal, who was living in Delphi very close to the murder scene on February 13th, 2017. Okay. Evidence known to Unified Command included the fact that fellow Odinites Patrick Westphal and Brad Holder were close friends as late as January 21st, 2017. However, that friendship ended very abruptly in February of 2017. The schism in their friendship resulted from a fight that occurred between Holder and Westphal in February 2017, where he, Holder, and Westphal were in the woods near a river conducting a ritual. One of them said or did something the other did not agree with, and they no longer talked to each other. The river was near Patrick's house. An intoxicated Brad Holder shared this disturbing information with his ex-wife, Amber Holder. Amber Holder then relayed this disturbing information to law enforcement who were not part of Unified Command in 2019. These officers then relayed this disturbing information to Unified Command. Liggett concealed this information from Judge Diener. Okay, what was this disagreement about? Well, let's go back. Okay, let's go back. Remember this. She would testify that Brad Holder talked about the Delphi case, that Brad Holder told her that he and Patrick Westphal had a falling out over a ritual in the woods near a river because Patrick Westphal wanted to up the ante from animal sacrifice. What does that mean? What does it mean to up the ante from animal sacrifice? Well, what's beyond animal? What is beyond animal sacrifice? Okay, that's what the issue was, the big fight in February of 2017. Yeah, are you guys picking it up? You guys picking it up? In 2019, Unified Command learned that in a totally different conversation with his ex-wife, Brad Holder pointed the finger away from himself and directly at Patrick Westphal as being the person actually responsible for the murders of Abby and Libby. According to police reports, Brad Holder told his ex-wife, Amber Holder, that, quote, Westphal and his people killed Abigail Williams and Liberty German because one of their mothers was mixing with other people outside of the mother's race, quote. Are we not dealing with white supremacist freaks? Are we not dealing with white supremacists? So the falling out in February 2017 was because during a ritual near a creek, Patrick Westphal wanted to move on and up the ante from animal sacrifice. Brad told Amber that Westphal and his people killed Abigail Williams and Liberty German because one of their mothers was mixing with other people outside of the mother's race. Furthermore, Unified Command was aware that Brad Holder had told Amber that, quote, I can only protect you so much if you keep asking questions. In other words, shut the fuck up or you're dead. Brad Holder further told his ex-wife Amber that Patrick Westphal had many people backing him. Let's go back to this one. If Amber Holder were allowed to testify, she would tell you that Patrick Westphal, according to Brad Holder, committed these crimes, he is protected by powerful people. Brad further told his ex-wife Amber that Patrick Westphal had many people backing him up, and that Westphal also had powerful friends. Liggett knew of this information for more than 3 years before Liggett sought a search warrant for Richard Allen's house, yet Liggett never shared that information with Judge Diener. Never. Liggett knew of this information for more than 3 years before he sought a search warrant for Richard Allen's house, yet Liggett never shared that information with Judge Diener. Additionally, Westphal provided a very weak alibi as to his whereabouts on February 13, 2017. Westphal told law enforcement that he was at home the afternoon of Monday, February 13, 2017. The defense is unaware of any search warrant that Liggett sought to enter Westphal's house or whether Unified Command instructed law enforcement to knock on a single neighbor's door to verify Westphal's alibi. Unified Command's failure to continually pursue the obvious links between the crime scene and Odinism is even more disturbing when evidence known to law enforcement included information about another Odinite named Johnny Messer from Rushville. Johnny was a recruiter for the Odinites and was also the connective tissue between the Odinites from the Delphi area, Brad Holder and Patrick Westphal, and the suspects from the Rushville area, Elvis Fields and Rod Abrams. Delphi is located 126 miles from Rushville. Law enforcement knew that Johnny Messer was friends with Brad Holder and Patrick Westphal. He was also recruiting for the Vinlanders. Law enforcement also knew that Messer was acquaintances with Elvis Fields and Rod Abrams. Unified Command theoretically could claim, and actually appear to be claiming, that this connection is simply a bizarre coincidence. However, Unified Command not only knew that Elvis Fields, Rod Abrams, and Brad Holder and Patrick Westphal shared a common acquaintance, and that is Johnny Messer, but also that Elvis Fields and Brad Holder followed each other on Facebook and even mimicked each other's Facebook pages, with Elvis Fields actually recreating the photos that Holder posted on his Facebook page. We spoke about that yesterday. Shockingly, at his August 10, 2023 deposition, Unified Command member Jerry Holman claimed that he did not even know who Johnny Messer was. Jerry Holman claimed that he did not even know who Johnny Messer was in August of 2023, nor what the evidence showed of Messer's possible role in the murders of Abby and Libby. It is additionally infuriating that Johnny Messer was cleared as a suspect in the murders when considering these facts. Johnny's ex-girlfriend, Taylor Hornady, told police that Johnny Messer and Patrick Westphal were like brothers. You remember Taylor from our discussion yesterday. She also told police that she had allowed Johnny to borrow her car on or around Valentine's Day 2017. Think now. Taylor allowed Johnny Messer to borrow her car on or around Valentine's Day of 2017. That means when the girls were potentially murdered. And that Johnny drove her car up there to hang with his Vinlander friends. What does up there mean? Delphi. Let's read the footnote. Vinlander is a word interchangeable with those that practice Odinism. As State Trooper Roland Purdy stated in his deposition, all members of Vinlanders are also Odinists. Basically, The Vinlanders are a white supremacist group consisting of Odinists Brad Holder, Patrick Westphal, and Johnny Messer were all affiliated with the Vinlander group. Johnny Messer's ex-girlfriend, Taylor Hornady, also confirmed that all Vinlanders were also Odinists, and that Johnny Messer, Brad Holder, and Patrick Westphal were all members of Vinlanders. And remember, we saw yesterday that she testified about the photograph of all of them together with their Vinlander shirts on. When Johnny Messer returned her vehicle, it had dried blood over one side of it. Johnny Messer refused to discuss the details of how the blood got there. Johnny Messer's ex-girlfriend further stated that it took her several car washes to finally remove the blood. Meanwhile, Messer has claimed that he had never, not once in his life, been to Delphi, home of his brother, Patrick Westphal, near the home of his other Odinite brother, Brad Holder. Why wouldn't he just say that he struck an animal? Why would he not just say, oh, you know, I hit a deer. I hit a deer. That's the blood. I hit a deer. No, he doesn't want to discuss it at all. Here's your car. Sorry it's bloody. Clean it up. Okay, now we're moving on. Messer's ex-girlfriend also told law enforcement that Brad Holder and Johnny Messer were two of the most violent people she knew and were fully capable of having been involved in the murders. So Taylor Hornady, who gave up a phone that showed the kidnapping in Indianapolis of someone, Taylor Hornady, who loaned the car to Messer that came back bloody, which required several washings, says Brad Holder and Johnny Messer were two of the most violent people she knew and were fully capable of having been involved in the murders. Johnny Messer's ex-girlfriend further stated that a motive for their involvement in the murder of Abby and Libby might be the concept of blood in and blood out, which means social acceptance into their secret circles. All of this information was relayed to Liggett and the Unified Command team. Yet Unified Command provided no guidance as to what to do to capitalize on this information in order to work towards solving the murders. Additionally, Unified Command learned that Johnny Messer's ex-girlfriend had been listening to and recording Johnny Messer's phone calls. Why would she do that? Maybe she's extremely concerned and has actual suspicions that are legitimate that they had something to do with some murders. Police secured the phone and listened to 3 phone calls involving Johnny Messer. In 2 of those phone calls, Messer was, quote, offering money to other people to find someone so they can be injured or killed. The 3rd call involves Messer bragging about holding a subject hostage and shooting them at his house. Okay. In 2 of the phone calls, he's trying to offer money to people to find someone so they can be injured or killed. In the 3rd call, he's bragging about holding someone hostage and shooting them at his house. Essentially, Unified Command said nothing to see here regarding Johnny Messer and issued no search warrants for his home. None have been disclosed to the defense, nor did they attempt to utilize an age-old investigative tool referred to as an interrogation. Now, that's pretty snarky for whoever wrote this. That's pretty funny. Nor did they attempt to utilize an age-old investigative tool referred to as an interrogation to pursue the truth about the involvement of Johnny Messer, Brad Holder, or Patrick Westphal in these crimes. Many more shocking facts concerning this so-called investigation will be revealed in the body of the memorandum. Okay, and now we're going to skip ahead. Let's take a look at page 53. At the bottom, the 12-page Odin report. As part of discovery, the defense received a 12-page Word document that provided a summary of Trooper Kevin Murphy's investigation of the Odinite angle. Over time, for reference purposes, the defense has come to call this document the Odin report. Therefore, to more clearly reference this document throughout the rest of this memo, the defense will use the moniker the Odin report when discussing this report. The Odin report was created by Indiana State Trooper, that's ISP for you in the back, Kevin Murphy, who thankfully was independently curious. The Unified Command, through Liggett and Hammond, had concluded by March of 2017, 1 month after the murders, that Brad Holder should be cleared as a suspect, as will be detailed later. But what did Doug Carter say? We haven't cleared anybody? Nobody's been cleared? Further, Unified Command had claimed that it had concluded very early on, probably in March of 2017, 1 month after the murders, that Odinites were not involved. But no one's been cleared? Despite Liggett and Holman clearing Holder as a suspect in March of 2017, although no one's been cleared, and despite a mystery Purdue professor, who's no longer a mystery, Professor Turco, dismissing all the links between Odinism and the murders, which didn't happen, Murphy pressed on. Murphy began investigating a man named Elvis Fields down in Rushville, Indiana, 126 miles away from Delphi. The fruits from this investigation ultimately boomeranged Murphy, as well as law enforcement officers Greg Ferenczi and Todd Click, back to Brad Holder. What are the odds? Let's remember what's being said here, okay? Murphy began investigating a man named Elvis Fields down in Rushville. The fruits from this investigation ultimately boomeranged back to Brad Holder and back to Odinism. Does not that have a little more substance than going after him for the Odinism and because of Holder? Murphy, Ferenczi, and Click's dogged pursuit of the truth is what we citizens and those accused of crimes should expect out of law enforcement. These honorable law enforcement officers were knocking on doors and conducting interviews, going wherever the evidence led them. Immediately following an interview, Murphy would reduce key aspects of that interview into a Word document. Over time, the Odin report grew from a single page from his first interview with Mary Jacobs to 12 pages, with the last pages used for summing up his thoughts from all the interviews he had conducted. The defense has attached this document to this memorandum and marked it as Exhibit 36. And I will remind you, listeners, remember that as Mr. Baldwin asked that this be noted, he also asked that all of the exhibits be included. Surprisingly to Murphy, even though he was handing over to Unified Command powerful evidence that really painted a clear picture of who was involved in the murders, Holman and Liggett did not seem interested. Eventually, Murphy said that Unified Command phased out the Odinite Rush County angle. Murphy figured that this phasing out was due to Unified Command knowing things that he didn't know, that eliminated the Odinism angle. Murphy further stated, and I quote, "I kind of took my marching orders and just did what I was told and went where I was needed." Close quotation. In other words, Murphy trusted Unified Command, was doing the right thing. Okay. The defense would encourage the court to stop and review this document before continuing to read this memorandum as the Odin report will be discussed over the next several pages. Well, if she didn't really thoroughly read this 136 pages, why would she read the 12? If she didn't take this document seriously and this information, why would she care about the 12? Who is Brad Holder? Who is Patrick Westphal? Who is Johnny Messer? Who is Elvis Fields? Who is Rod Abrams? And why does the evidence strongly point towards these men as having been involved in the murder of Abby and Libby? The Odin report provides much of the information. However, the report is not the only source of evidence provided by the state of Indiana. Let's recall that again. However, this report is not the only source of evidence provided by the state of Indiana that links these men to the murders. The investigative fingerprints of Todd Click and the late Greg Ferenczi, rest in peace, are prominently peppered throughout the Odin report as well. Click also prepared a roughly 85-page report and delivered it to Unified Command. So not only the 136 pages, not only the 12 pages, but an additional 85 pages by Todd Click. However, the defense didn't receive this document until September 8, 2023, nearly 10 months after the defense counsel entered their appearance. The defense will now show what Liggett and the rest of Unified Command knew but refused to act on. This information is also what Liggett concealed from Judge Diener. The defense will include the evidence that links these men to the crime scene and to each other, including the intimate knowledge that these men had of the crime scene that only someone who had been at the crime scene would know. And that's a major tell, isn't it? Isn't this the reason that details are withheld? Brad Holder's connection to the crime scene. Brad's son, Logan Holder, was dating Abby Williams at the time of the murders. That's not strange at all. Nobody denies this fact. Amber Holder, for example, discusses this fact on page 9 of the Odin report. Remember, we're discussing in this episode Amber Holder. This is what we're doing here. We're talking about Amber today. Exhibit 37 is a document memorializing the only known interview of Brad Holder concerning the Delphi murders, at least through August 30th, 2023. In that document, it is learned Brad Holder details that he was usually in Delphi every weekend visiting his friend, Patrick Westphal, and attending, as a true, religious ceremonies at Patrick Westphal's house, usually on Sundays. As a true is interchangeable with Odinism. In a report labeled DIN C002561, Patrick Westphal described to law enforcement that as a true was a warrior-type religion with many gods, including Odin and Thor. This report is marked as Exhibit 39. Patrick Westphal and Brad Holder had been friends prior to the murders of Abby and Libby. In fact, Patrick Westphal and Brad Holder were found in a photograph together as late as January 21st of 2017. Find attached a copy of said photograph marked as Exhibit 38. Murphy noted on page 11 of the Odin report that Westphal appears 10 times in pictures that Holder posts on Facebook prior to February 13th, 2017. However, after February 13th, 2017, Westphal does not appear in any of Holder's posed photos. What happened to the friendship of Brad Holder and Patrick Westphal? Amber Holder tells a very disturbing story. Remember, we're here to talk about Amber. As can be viewed on page 9 of the Odin report, Amber told law enforcement the following. She, Amber, said that Brad spoke of Patrick one time when he was intoxicated, truth serum, and said that he and Patrick got into a fight and they no longer speak to each other. He told her that he and Westfall were in the woods near a river conducting a ritual. One of them said or did something that the other did not agree with, and they no longer talked to each other. She said the river was near Patrick's house. Note, Brad has a Facebook post with him and Patrick together on January 21st, 2017. Yes, and also note what we read earlier, that let's go back because we're cross-referencing. She would testify that Brad Holder talked about the Delphi case and that Brad told her that he and Patrick Westfall had a falling out over a ritual in the woods near a river because Patrick Westfall wanted to up the ante from human sacrifice. Patrick Westfall was living, let's go back, in Delphi at the time. Find attached DIN 0002561 marked as Exhibit 39 and filed as confidential. This document is the narrative report of what is believed to be the only interview police conducted of Patrick Westfall. Just like Holder's videotaped interview, as of the date of the filing of this memorandum, the prosecutor still has not turned over the Westfall videotaped interview. The defense only has a narrative that allegedly memorializes Westfall's interview. The defense has requested both Holder's and Westfall's videotaped interviews. Well, the excuse now is that Westfall does not have a videotaped interview and Holder's was deleted. Okay. Westfall was living, the address where Westfall was living at the time was 3.1 miles, or roughly a 7-minute drive. Okay, so let's focus on this part, because people will come in here and people will say, it was 3 miles, it was far from the crime scene. No, it was a 7-minute drive to the crime scene. Let me ask you, if you were to consider a 7-minute drive into some place here, okay, let's say your nearest Walmart. Would you say that your nearest Walmart is about a 7-minute drive? Is that close or is it very far? Think of some place 6 or 7 miles away. 6 or 7 minutes away. Okay, 6 or 7 minutes drive, which is the closest entry point to the cemetery, which is the closest entry point to where the girls were murdered. Find attached a copy of Google Maps showing the pins dropped at Westfall's address and close to where the girls were found, marked as Exhibit 40 and filed as confidential. Yeah, and I bet if you're in a rush, it could be a 5-minute drive. As we know from Exhibit 37, attached to the memorandum, Brad Holder admitted that he spent every weekend hanging out with his friend Patrick Westfall in Delphi and participated in as a true religious ceremonies on Sunday with Patrick Westfall. The girls were abducted allegedly on Monday. So what if what happened is this was a Sunday event? What if it was indeed a Sunday? Have we thought about that? 12th instead of 13th? I think we've been saying that for 7 years. Patrick Westfall appeared to no longer be friends after February 13th, 2017. Defense is unaware as to whether law enforcement were even mildly curious enough to seek Brad Holder or Patrick Westfall out to ask them about that explosive information that Amber told police about an argument over a ritual gone bad in the woods sometime in February 2017. Remember, we're here to talk about Amber. Additionally, Richard Allen's defense team is unaware whether law enforcement sought a search warrant for Brad Holder or Patrick's homes. Okay. Amber Holder tells a second and equally disturbing story. When interviewed a second time, Amber discussed another conversation that she had with Brad Holder. Okay, listening ears. She had gone to Brad Holder's house to visit him. While the children were upstairs, she inquired about Patrick Westfall under the ruse that Amber's girlfriend had a date with Patrick. This is what is contained on page 10 of the Odin report. And I'll quote, Brad became very nervous and told her that she needed to stay away from Westfall or she would end up dead. Quote, she said that Brad told her Westfall and his crew was responsible for the murders of the girls in Delphi and a fire that killed 2 girls. I asked her if she knew of the fires in Florida that killed 4 girls, and she said she was not familiar with any fires that killed any children until Brad mentioned it today. She said Brad may have been talking about the fire, but had the number of killed wrong. She said Brad told her that Westfall and, quote, his crew had friends in several states and that they have no problem killing race traitors. Please keep in mind that race traitors does not spell Traders, but traitors, Traitors. Race traitors. I asked her to clarify race traitor, and she said she believed it meant white people who mix with other races. Yes, and what about black people who mix with other races? Is that why Galen's house was torched? Amber said that Brad told her that Westfall belonged to a group called the Venlanders and 22. Brad told her that Westfall had many people backing him up. And powerful friends. She said that Brad was very nervous while telling her these things and was whispering like he was fearful someone else would hear him. She said throughout that conversation, Brad was constantly telling her to stay away from Westfall. He also told her that Patrick had killed a lot of people and it didn't matter if they were innocent or not. Amber truly believes Brad is scared of Westfall. Prior to Amber leaving, she said that Brad told her to stay off Westfall's radar. And I can only protect you so much if you keep asking questions. He also told her that if Westfall found out she was married to him, that she would be in danger. Brad also questioned her on why Westfall would be going on a date, that he was under the impression that Westfall was married or engaged to someone. Okay? Imagine being an investigator trying to solve a horrible murder, having learned all of this information. What would a good investigator do? What would a good leadership in the form of unified command do with this information? We would ask the court to think about all the tools that law enforcement had in its arsenal to pursue an investigation once these explosive stories were told. Doesn't appear that unified command did anything. The question then may be, did they, including Liggett, want to do anything to investigate the Odinites? Was Uniform Command and Tony Liggett acting intentionally or recklessly in the way that it conducted the investigation? Again, let's ask that question again. Was Unified Command and Tony Liggett acting intentionally or recklessly in the way they conducted this investigation? And by extension, was Liggett acting intentionally or recklessly when concealing this information from Diener and misrepresenting witness statements and outright lying in his affidavit for the search warrant? Okay. Just a side note. When she says that Westfall belonged, look at the top here. She says, Amber said that Brad told her that Westfall belonged to a group called the Vinlanders and 22. Well, I think that was her mistake. It would be the Vinlanders and 28. Okay. 28 stands for BH. Do you know what BH stands for? Blood and honor. Okay. Blood and honor. BH. Okay, another white supremacist organization. I mean, this guy is clearly a white supremacist nut. Okay? So we're talking about the Vinlanders, which is a white supremacist, as a true out branching of the Odinist, and Blood and Honor, 28. Okay, so that's her mistake there, but why would she remember something like that? Okay. Okay, now let's move on. One more excerpt here. Oh, well, Sleuthi is adding a detail here that I didn't know. She says they were calling themselves Firm 22 as well, so possibly that's it. I don't know because I'm not involved with these people, but we know that there are ties to Blood and Honor. We know that there are ties to American Guard. We know that there are ties to Asatru and Vinlanders and the motorcycle clubs, which I will not name here. Okay. Almost done here. Let's move on. Next page. Okay, a few more pages and we'll be done with this. Elvis described forming horns out of sticks and placing them on Abby's head at the crime scene. Photos confirm Elvis's statement. Perhaps the most damaging piece of evidence that links Elvis to the crime scene was found in an unusual place, the middle of a report that memorialized the results of Mary Jacobs' polygraph examination. A copy of said report is attached to this memorandum and marked as Exhibit 96 and filed as confidential. In Mary's pre-examination interview, polygraph examiner Stephanie Thompson, no red flags there, recorded that Mary Jacobs stated the following, and I will quote, Elvis told her, Mary, that Abigail is a little troublemaker and that he placed leaves on her and used sticks to give her horns. Horns and antlers are common symbols used in pagan rituals, and Brad Holder himself displayed the Odinite fascination with horns on his Facebook posts. Find attached Exhibit 97 from Brad Holder's Facebook page. As you can see, the middle photograph is an image of a person with small stick-like antlers on top of their head. Find attached a close-up photograph of Abby's head from the crime scene. See Exhibit 98, close-up photograph of sticks above Abby's head from the crime scene, marked as confidential. From a distance, it may not be immediately noticeable. However, upon closer inspection, it is obvious that someone involved in the killings intentionally placed small, and I mean tiny, sticks from a tree on top of Abby's hair to resemble horns or antlers. The horns from sticks on Abby's head look similar to the image found on Holder's Facebook page, Exhibit 97. And remember that Elvis Fields was extremely fond of habitually replicating or mimicking or duplicating Holder's Facebook posts. The defense has not viewed one single report that discusses the sticks placed atop Abby's hair, shaped like horns or antlers, being compared with Elvis's statement to his sister that he shaped sticks into horns on Abby. Therefore, the presumption is that Unified Command never figured this shit out. Trooper Purdy was present at the polygraph examination, but was not able to watch the examination, and therefore would not know about Elvis's words to his sister, Mary, about using sticks to form horns on Abby. Rather than now being curious in the year 2023 as to how Elvis knew such a thing and then using this new information as a basis to secure a search warrant or even an arrest warrant on Elvis when factoring in all the other evidence. Sadly, it is expected that law enforcement will do the exact opposite of being curious. It is expected that law enforcement will claim that the photograph does not prove anything, or that the defense is exaggerating the photograph. Well, that's exactly what they and their YouTube shills are doing. Perhaps Unified Command will huddle together and establish the go-to party line stance on how to deal with the problems created with the polygraph examination information and the photo of sticks formed as horns on Abby's head in the crime scene photographs. And you can bet your ass that they have. They have also passed those talking points on to the YouTubers. It would be refreshing if someone in Unified Command could stop worrying about how the public would view their incompetence. Huh, Doug Carter? Admit to mistakes. Huh, Doug Carter? And perform the type of police work that should have been performed 6 years ago. Huh, Doug Carter? Jerry Holman? Tony Liggett? David Vito? The defense is not holding its breath. As the defense told Holman in his deposition, the unfortunate expectation is that Holman and Liggett will try to figure out how to solve that problem rather than to solve the case of who murdered those girls. Elvis's insider knowledge of the crime scene may be a place for Holman to start. Let's phrase that again. Would someone please duplicate this so I can put it on the screen? Elvis's insider knowledge of the crime scene may be a place for Holman to start. Elvis's insider knowledge of the crime scene may be a place for Holman to start. Again, part of the Frank's analysis involves the court reviewing the behavior of law enforcement to determine whether Liggett intentionally concealed and falsified evidence in Liggett's affidavit for a search warrant. Liggett and Holman and the rest of Unified Command's reaction to the information contained in the polygraph examination concerning sticks formed into horns on Abby's head may very well reveal whether Liggett is interested in the truth or in burying the truth, which again is part of the Frank's analysis, isn't it? Patrick Westfall's connection to the crime scene. Much of what connects Patrick Westfall to the crime scene has been discussed in the section detailing what connected Brad Holder to the crime scene. To shorten this section, the defense will numerically lay out both the evidence previously discussed as well as a few other pieces of evidence that tie Westfall to the crime scene. If the fact or piece of evidence has been discussed in previous section, the defense is not going to drop a footnote to that reference, as currently the defense has 126 footnotes and believes the court may appreciate not duplicating footnotes to reference exhibits already discussed and attached to this memorandum. This will help shorten the already long memorandum. Okay, let's read these four. Brad Holder and Patrick Westfall were friends at least until late January 21st, 2017, as proven by a Facebook photo previously mentioned. However, according to Amber Holder, remember we're here to discuss Amber Holder today. According to Amber Holder and law enforcement monitoring Facebook posts between Holder and Westfall, a fight between Brad Holder and Patrick Westfall occurred sometime in February 2017 concerning a ritual gone bad in the woods near a creek. The Odin report, Brad Holder, in the Odin report, Brad Holder told Amber Holder that the person that murdered the girls was Patrick Westfall and his crew. Brad Holder told Amber Holder that the person that murdered Abigail Williams and Liberty German was Patrick Westfall and his crew. Furthermore, as referenced in the Odin report, Brad Holder told Amber Holder that Patrick Westphal is dangerous and has powerful friends that will protect him, and that she needs to back off or he will not be able to protect her. Okay, let's move on. One final excerpt. Part 3, Liggett concealed and falsified evidence in his affidavit for a search warrant. The concealed and falsified evidence blows Liggett's timeline apart, which explains why he concealed and falsified the information. Hello? For Liggett's timeline to work and to place Richard Allen on the high bridge at 2:13, the time of the famous alleged down the hill video, Liggett desperately needed Betsy Blair to describe a man on the high bridge that looked like Richard Allen, and perhaps more importantly, needed Betsy Blair to describe a car that she observed at the CPS parking lot that looked like Richard Allen's black Ford Focus. Betsy Blair's description of the man she observed on the high bridge around 2 p.m. looked nothing like Richard Allen. Let's repeat that again. Betsy Blair's description of the man she observed on the Monon High Bridge around 2 p.m. looked nothing like Richard Allen. Liggett concealed this information from Judge Diener. Betsy Blair's description of the vehicle she observed at the CPS parking lot looked nothing like a black Ford Focus. Liggett also concealed this information from Judge Diener. For good measure, Liggett also lied about what Sarah Carbo observed at 3:57 p.m. that also blew up his timeline. Betsy Blair's first description of the man she saw on the bridge was memorialized in sketch number 2, illustrated on February 17, 2017, 3 days after the girls were found, but not released to the public until April 22, 2019, following Superintendent Doug Carter's press conference. On February 17, 2017, Betsy Blair met with a state police sketch artist, Taylor D. Bryant, and provided a description of the man she observed from 50 feet away on the Monon High Bridge. The same man that Liggett claimed in his affidavit was the killer. Betsy Blair told the sketch artist that the man she saw or observed was a white male, age 20, had brown curly hair, medium build. Let's review that. A white male, age 20, with brown curly hair, medium build. Find attached and marked as Exhibit 103 the unredacted facial identification reference sheet, filed as confidential, that contains the description that Betsy Blair provided to the sketch artist. Also find attached a copy of the sketch that Taylor D. Bryant produced from Betsy Blair's description of the man she observed on the bridge, marked as Exhibit 104. The illustration is also called Sketch 2, or the Young Guy sketch, because it was released to the public second. Upon looking at the sketch, Betsy Blair told the sketch artist that the illustration was a 10 out of 10 for accuracy. Blair's 10 out of 10 comment is memorialized in a report identified as incident number 170091S03. This 10 out of 10 wording can be found in the second full paragraph. Find attached the unredacted report marked as Exhibit 105. So the guy that Betsy Blair describes is the Young Guy sketch, released in 2019, that looks nothing like one Richard Allen. She also believes this gentleman was 20 years old with poofy, curly, brown hair and a medium build. The Unified Command did not release Betsy Blair's sketch to the public for over 2 years. Instead, they first released the Sarah Carbo sketch, also called Sketch Number 1, or the Old Guy sketch, because it was released to the public first. The Sarah Carbo sketch was illustrated by the FBI sketch artist Plants from Detroit on June 19, 2017. It released to the public on July 17, 2017. Find attached a screenshot from WTHR News, Indianapolis, showing the release of Sketch 1, Exhibit 106. Who was the person that Sarah Carbo was describing in her sketch? According to Liggett's affidavit, at approximately 3:57 p.m., Sarah Carbo observed a man walking westbound on County Road 300 North. Sarah Carbo was headed eastbound on County Road 300 North, operating her motor vehicle while simultaneously observing this man walking on the road toward her on the opposite side of the road. This is the same man that Sarah Carbo described for the sketch artist on June 19, 2017. We will be discussing Sarah Carbo's description of that man later. Roughly 2 years later, in March 2019, Betsy Blair met with Tony Liggett, frustrated that her sketch, the second sketch, the young guy sketch, had not been released to the public. See Exhibit 105. Betsy was frustrated because sketch number 1, which had been released to the public almost 2 years before, did not match the man that she observed on the high bridge. Betsy even commented that sketch number 1 was wrong. Find attached a flash drive containing Betsy Blair's March 7, 2019 interview with Tony Liggett, marked as Exhibit 107. Betsy Blair states that sketch number 1 with the golf hat is wrong. Certainly, it was odd that the Sarah Carbo sketch was chosen to be released over the Betsy Blair sketch for the following reasons. Betsy Blair provided her description to the sketch artist only 4 days after seeing the man on the bridge, while it was fresh on her mind. Compare with Sarah Carbo, who provided her description to the sketch artist 126 days after she observed the man on the road. Betsy Blair had a good look at the man's face while stationary from only 50 feet away. Sarah Carbo was not stationary, but rather traveling down the road, operating her vehicle while simultaneously trying to observe the man on the road. During her March 7, 2017 interview, Betsy Blair was talking with 2 members of Unified Command, Kevin Hammond and Tony Liggett. At this interview, Betsy Blair told Liggett face to face that the man she observed on the high bridge fit the following description. Okay? The man was slender and youthful looking. He was more boyish looking. The man was in his 20s to early 30s. His hair seemed poofy, just as the sketch portrayed. He had no facial hair that she can remember. Finally, on April 22, 2019, Unified Command released Betsy Blair's sketch number 2 to the general public. In fact, upon its release, Superintendent Doug Carter commented that the man in Betsy Blair's sketch, the young guy sketch, was responsible for the murders. This is April 22nd, 2019. Also at the time, Doug Carter also stated that sketch number 1 had now become secondary to the investigation. The fact that Sarah Carbo's sketch number 1 had become secondary to the investigation is confusing, considering Liggett's and Holman's claim that sketch number 1 and sketch number 2 are the same person. Not only that, remember that in 2019, the ISP released a written press release and a written follow-up for clarification on the press release. 2 separate written documents stating extremely clearly that sketch number 1 and sketch number 2 were 2 different individuals, and that the old guy sketch was no longer a person of interest. I will repeat that. After the release of the young guy sketch, sketch number 2, Betsy Blair's sketch, the person that she claimed she saw on the high bridge, Doug Carter states that this first sketch, the old guy sketch, has become secondary. The ISP then releases a press release clarifying that the old guy sketch and the young guy sketch are two separate individuals, and that the old guy sketch is no longer a person of interest in the Delphi murders investigation. With Doug Carter saying that sketch number 2, the young guy sketch, was responsible for the murders. Well, it's actually mind-blowing because at this point, Liggett, Lesenby, and Doug Carter all claim now that Richard Allen is both sketches. Yes, that's what they do now. Now remember, the young guy sketch was a 10 out of 10 for who Betsy Blair believes she saw on the high bridge. Magically, now both sketches come together and become one sketch again, and that sketch is Richard Allen. On March 7, 2019, Liggett was present when Betsy Blair described the man she observed on the bridge. Betsy was actually talking to Liggett face to face when she provided the description. Liggett heard Betsy's description of a much younger man with brown, poofy hair, but chose to conceal this information from Judge Diener. Might I also mention, he changed the color of the clothing that the individual was wearing in the Sarah Carbo sketch. He also added that that individual Sarah Carbo observed was muddy and bloody as he was walking on 300. That which we now know was a complete falsehood. That what Sarah Carbo actually said was that the individual was muddy. Once again, Liggett heard Betsy's description of a much younger man with brown, poofy hair, but chose to conceal this information from Judge Diener. Blair's description of a youthful, boyish-looking person in his 20s. And let's go back over that. Slender and youthful, boyish, 20s to early 30s, hair seemed poofy, no facial hair, a white male, age 20, curly brown hair, medium build. Does not at all describe Richard Allen. In order for Liggett to have provided Judge Diener with honest and accurate information, he would have had to state the following. Okay, so this is a what if. This is a what should have been, okay, which is pretty pointless, but we'll close it out with this. I, Tony Liggett, believe Richard Allen is the man that murdered the girls for the reasons stated herein. I also believe that the man that Betsy Blair observed on the bridge is Richard Allen, and therefore the killer. However, I must also inform the court that the man Betsy Blair observed on the bridge really looks nothing like Richard Allen. Whereas Richard Allen was a man in his mid-40s with short or even shaved grayish hair. The man Betsy Blair described was youthful, boyish-looking, and had brown, poofy hair. Also, Your Honor, Betsy Blair told the sketch artist that the man she saw on the bridge was just 20 years old. This description came only 4 days after she observed the man on the bridge from 50 feet away. 2 years later, Betsy Blair still maintains that the man was in his 20s or maybe early 30s. Also, Betsy Blair told the sketch artist back in 2017 that the resemblance of the boyish sketch to the man that she observed on the high bridge was a 10 out of 10. Must also tell you, Judge, that this 10 out of 10 sketch looks absolutely nothing like Richard Allen. Okay. And what I would like to do, it may take me a moment to do, guys, but please give me the grace of time, because I think, considering the subject matter that we just covered in the past hour and a half or two, it would be pertinent to show you a single photograph that you may not be aware of that is related. Okay. Good things come to those who wait, allegedly. Okay, here we go. We're going to ensure that it gets to the screen. It's going to take a moment. Okay. I didn't have this ready to go, so that's the deal. But it's coming. All right, let's pull it up. All right. Last one here. Let's see. Oh, come on. Didn't I just do that? Come on, baby. It always takes time. Let's pull that up. Come on, baby. Jeez. Try it again. What an aggravation. Okay. Let's see if we got it now. There we go. Who knows what this is? Please put it in the chat if you know what this is. I'll wait and read the chat and see if I can let one of you discuss what this is. Please note please observe the date. Please observe the date here. Please observe the date. I will ask you this. Was Galen Rose known to be a race trader? Was she known to mix races? Was she known to be with a white guy? Okay, let's see. Let's take a look at something here. Take a look at this. She said that Brad told her Westfall and his crew was responsible for the murders of the girls in Delphi and a fire that killed 2 girls. I asked her if she knew of the fires in Flora that killed 4 girls, and she said she was not familiar with any fires that killed any children until Brad mentioned it today. She said Brad may have been talking about that fire, but had the number of killed wrong. She said Brad told her that Westfall and his crew had friends in several states and that they have no problem killing race traitors. I asked her to clarify race traitor, and she believed it meant white people who mix with other races. Yes, or black people who mix with other races. One day before the Flora fire, there's a ritual. One day before the Delphi murders, same individuals have their Sunday ritual every Sunday. So that is our presentation on Amber Holder. And I would like to say God bless Amber Holder. God bless Taylor Hornady. And protect them. Well, if she did date white men, yes, she did, Colton Creasy. My theory could be in order to preserve the white race, they sent a message to the white guy by setting fire and taking their lives. Was she meant to die? Yes, it's right next door. It's right, it's very close. It's very, very close. Houses down. It's on the block. It's right there. So he was there with Jennifer Barnes Dean and Thomas Miller that very day. You can email me, Sleuthie. Jennifer Barnes Dean, friend of Greeno, convicted murderer, catfishing murderer. At that, yes, a horrible, horrible woman, a murderer, and a dope dealer, and pretend mother figure to Thomas Miller, who just happens to know all of these characters you're mentioning. Email. Ooh, what did I just do? Oh, okay. Let's see. There we go. Oops. Let's go back before I exit the documents. I'm sorry. I just got to go back. I just thought of one thing, but where is it? It's the next page from what I was looking. Pardon. There it is. It says, remember, we're talking about Amber today. He told her that Patrick had killed a lot of people, and it didn't matter if they were innocent or not. Amber truly believes Brad is scared of Westfall. Brad also told her that Patrick had killed a lot of people, and it didn't matter if they were innocent or not. And that's it, guys. That is the presentation on Amber Holder. And like I said, God bless Amber Holder. Oh, let's see what I'm looking at here. Oh, I see what you mean about 22. Is that what you mean to send the 22? Is that what you're meaning to send, Sleuthy, the 22? Or is there something else? Maybe there's something else I don't know. There's something else coming. Yes, 22. Okay, thank you, Sleuthy. Yeah, God be with Amber Holder. And today was our Amber Holder deep dive. And I'd like to remind you all that all of this is coming from the record. All of this is coming from the record. This is what I said at the beginning of the show tonight. We're not making it up. It's not rumor mill. It's not what the locals have been saying. It's not word on the street. We're reading from the record. We are reading from Discovery. We're studying the work of law enforcement that is available to us. Is everyone picking up on what I'm putting down here? Okay, because you're going to have people come and say, that's bullshit. Law enforcement says Richard Allen is the only one, lone wolf killer. Blah, blah. No. See, we are reading directly from law enforcement. Because what else do you have? You have this PCA that's not worth wiping your ass with. Or maybe that's the only thing it's worth. I would say cleaning. I would not wipe my ass with that PCA. I would clean the mirrors. Okay. So yeah, I'd spray down the mirrors and wipe them clean with the PCA. That's about what it's worth. Other than that, implicating Richard Allen that we know contains misrepresentations, outright falsehoods, and even if everything was on the up and up and legit, it's still one of the worst PCAs that any law enforcement personnel that I've ever spoken with claims they have seen. So it's shitty to begin with. And that's without these individuals knowing that it's rife with misrepresentations and falsehoods, thanks to Tony Liggett. So if you weigh that against all that we've uncovered from the work of law enforcement that we've accessed or been able to access and obtain through the record, you see where we are. It's not a nice place. Okay, so I'm going to take a quick look at the chat, but I don't think I'll be going back to study the chat, and we can take it from here because I was very much engaged with the reading. I didn't really follow the chat, but I would like to think, I think I saw Iva Pappas come in and Shiraz. Thank you guys. And I saw Crime Night Joe Lewis come in. Thank you, Joe Lewis. And I saw ICU come in and blessings galore. Thank you, ICU and blessings galore, and Tree Hugger 496, and Lambert Co. and Tracy Fleetwood were making comments. See if I missed anyone else that I haven't mentioned, but you guys who were discussing, you know what you were, you know what was going on in the chat, but I don't. Frenchie 6290 was there. A bunch of guys were there discussing with Sleuthy and Preckerson and Diamond Eyes and crew. Oh, I see Bobby Smith was here. Okay, Bobby Smith. Okay, so everyone who discussed, please accept my gratitude and thank yous for your discussion in the chat. I apologize for not following along, but when we do these types of shows, I can't really follow the chat while I'm in those documents knee deep. But but yeah, so now I can discuss with the chat because we're done with that task. Okay, so let's see where we are. We're praying for Amber. Yes, please pray for Amber and for Taylor Hornady. Okay. Jaded Empath, welcome in. Prof, you surely wouldn't wipe your mirrors with that shit. I don't know. I often need paper because I don't really have lots of paper I don't get newspapers and trash paper. So I'm always looking for trash paper when I'm ready to clean the mirrors. So, if I happen to have that printed out, I would probably use it. Yeah, pray for protection because we may be looking at actual witnesses. Okay, these are the actual witnesses. We want to talk about witnesses. Welcome in, Jay. I applaud you for coming in, Jay. The witnesses would have recognized Richard Allen as the guy who works at CVS, the only pharmacy in town. Would have seen him afterwards at CVS and realized he was that guy, but they didn't because it's not him. You got a point there. I mean, with an extremely small town like that, you would think. Doesn't everybody know everybody? Nobody Nothing says I was a lurker tonight. Don't feel good. Well, I hope you feel better. I do hope you feel better, Nobody Nothing. Take a good break and refresh yourself. Get some rest. Yeah, Lisa, that's what I'm saying. Dawn says, and Elvis Field sisters. Yes, please pray for Elvis Field sisters as well. Those two young women are. They did the right thing. You always want to admonish those who do the wrong thing and who don't do the right thing. Often we are quick to call out people who don't do the right thing. Well, in this case, we have Elvis Field's sisters who did do the right thing, and they should be applauded for that. They did do the right thing. Okay. Yeah, what are the odds? The day before Flora, what are these guys doing? The day before Delphi, what are these guys doing? Okay, let me see. Okay, I sent a couple to email. I have way more though. I'm organizing all my screenshots of Holder before he removed his Facebook page, trying to hide evidence being discussed. Thank you, Sleuthy. Thank you. God bless you for that. Please send more. Please send more. I'm kind of heartbroken, guys, at the moment. I'm sorry. I got all down the minute I started thinking about those Florida girls and that ritual. Yeah, it makes me nauseated. I'm feeling sick and like a kind of like I'm choked up right now. Kind of just done. I want to get off the stream now. But this was our necessary dive into Amber Holder. And I think you will see upon review and consideration that it matters. And I think that should you rewatch the program, I know I'm going to post it tomorrow on the backup channel, and people will be rewatching it. Rewatching this program, it's very concerning if you really understand all that we just went through. I know I rushed through it as usual, rushed on up through it, but it's concerning with Amber. Okay, just like the Todd Click program yesterday was concerning, and just like the symbolism program was concerning. This is all extremely concerning. It's all looking like one thing, and why do we have such a hard time uh, having law enforcement answer to this? Okay, so if this is all fallacious, how about you make us understand that, law enforcement? How about you step forward and explain it? Explain yourselves, explain it. Because you know what it's looking like. I think it's very clear what it's looking like. You know, and no matter the gaslighting and the bullshit that these assholes on YouTube who are compromised will come on and try to say, and try to throw Richard Allen as the sacrificial. See, what they want to do with Richard Allen is make him the sacrificial victim. He's the only one. They're going to sacrifice him for the whole group to make this all go away, like it ever will. Like how will any of this ever go away until it is explained or addressed by law enforcement? No, please send that, Sleuthy. I don't have that. Thank you, sweet dude Shibby. And so, Amy, would you post our links? Would you post our links? Listen, everyone, I think I'm going to cut it short tonight because suddenly I just want to get off and go spend time with my kid. But no, what I'm getting at is we have our support pathways that Amy will be dropping for everyone on the replay. If you're watching the replay at any point in time, please leave a comment, even though you cannot join the live chat because it's already been lived. Please drop a comment on the replays whenever you happen to catch this, because these replays, I mean, I leave them up so that people can continue to access them far beyond the date that we go live. And please feel free to leave a comment, because your comments keep the conversation going that don't happen in real time. Okay, you keep that conversation going because all of our videos have lots of comments, and I always love them. They always, all these comments, they're always good when we go back and we look at the older videos and see it, all the discussion that's going on in the comment section is great. Okay, and interestingly enough, today on the backup channel, which we just reached our 500 subs on the backup channel, and we became monetized. So it was kind of very amazing today because it's the first super thanks I've ever gotten. And so the super thanks, someone sent a super thanks on the backup channel, and it kind of surprised me because I've never gotten one. And so when I looked at the when I was commenting on the replay, I saw someone drop the super thanks, and that was extremely nice. And so that's available to you guys watching the replay in the future, which who knows when or where you are. And but I'd like to thank everyone who was here for the live, especially because my lives are just Always the live chat is just always popping. It's extremely positive. I love everyone in here. You guys are just something else. And yeah, and I'm sorry I missed Little Joe Lewis. I'm sorry I missed Little Joe. I see he's gone now, but kind of sorry I missed Little Joe. All right, so let's see what's going on in this chat. Let's see. Thanks for the hearts. Thank you, sweet dude Shibby. Thank you, ICU. Thanks, Prof, for doing all this hard work and doing the right thing no matter what everyone did or said to you. I didn't like it. I didn't, but thank you for your appreciation. It's a small town. Yeah, you would think they would know Richard Allen. A name was dropped at the end of Prof's chat last night, but I have no personal knowledge. I've always just wondered myself. I don't know what you're talking about, digital. But thank you. Okay. God bless you, Don Leonard. Okay, thank you, Sleuthy. I like premieres because Prof and Joe's can join chat. Yeah. Yeah, I always join the chat on the premieres. I don't know if you guys have noticed that, but if you ever watch the premieres, when I bounce these to the backup channel the next day usually. So like tomorrow, you'll see me bounce it as a premiere to the backup channel. I usually join the live chat because I'm able to. Okay. Good night. Thanks, Prof. I want to find that groundhog and tell him he's full of S. Me too. But over here, he's pretty credible in my neighborhood right now. It's the most gorgeous, like it almost felt like a summer day today. Is pay it to donations going? Yes. I wish Crime Night would do more premieres so he can enjoy Diamond's Eyes, Radar, K West, and all them cool kids. It's a reminder for me to be grateful for the people in my life that love me. I can't imagine being a single woman in that town or living with that kind of hatred. What about being black? Could you imagine being black in that area? Peace out. Shiraz says dog needs to go. Bye. Yeah, we're getting out of here. K West, your battery died. Enjoy your. I know you can enjoy getting home. It's always so nice to get home after a trip. All right, guys. I love you guys. We'll be out of here. I'm out of here. I'm out of here. Thanks for joining. Diamond Eyes leaves it off with a, she always leaves it off with a bomb drop. She's always dropping a bomb. She says, remember Monday, bring your pets in during the eclipse. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Bring your ass and your pets in during the eclipse. I mean, just go listen to a few Navajo or Dene or any sort of Native American elders speak on what you should do during eclipses, and I suggest you listen. Good night, Lornell. Good night. Good night, Diamond Eyes. Frenchie. Good night, Frenchie. Good night, Sweet Dude and Ronnie. Okay. Good night, Peace. Good night, Gia, Digital, K West, Don Leonard, Shiraz, Frenchie 6290, Tracy Fleetwood, Amy, Diamond Eyes, Sleuthy. Good night. Thanks for your stuff. Sending me your stuff, Sleuthy. It's Lisa, Ronnie Reed. All right, everyone who stuck it out to the end. Nobody, nothing. Peace. Jay, ICU, Jaded Empath. Who else was in here? Precascent. Thank you, Precascent. Aaron was here. Aaron, thank you so much. All right, and everyone else. Cindy Goddard, blessings galore. Tracy Fleetwood, Lambert Coe, and anyone else I haven't mentioned. I apologize if I don't mention your name, but you know I love you, and you know I'm appreciating that you're here. So I'll see you guys later. We'll be out of here. Okay. Oh, by the way, tomorrow is our Friday night party. So yeah, tomorrow we'll do. We'll be in better spirits. Okay, tomorrow will be our Friday night party. So I'll see you guys tomorrow night. All right. All right. So God bless you, and hug your kids, hug your wife. Good night.